Hey guys, before we start this episode, I want to apologize the quality of the recording. We had a really weak Wi-Fi when we were recording. I didn't realize the quality after we done recording and I was doing some edits. So I had two choices. Either I just discard this episode or I just kind of try to make the best out of it. So I made this as a bonus episode for everyone because I would hate for you guys to miss out our conversation with Maria. We had such a good, fun conversation, so I really don't want to discard this special episode. So I just want to let you know ahead of time the quality is a little shaky. So it's up to you if you want to continue listening to this bonus episode.
Hello, 你好. Welcome to Mandarin Mama Chitchat. It is where Trista and Yao Yao, two Taiwanese moms, share intriguing conversations with amazing people from all over the world. We're super excited and grateful to have you here and really hope you enjoy our chit-chat.
Hi, it's Yao Yao. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Your time is the most valuable thing in the whole wide world. So I appreciate you are here with us, joining our chit chat. Today we have Maria. Maria is Polish from Poland. Maria loves Asian culture because when she was an au pair here in the United States, she lived with a Chinese family and exposed her Chinese culture. So when she went back to Poland, she wants to do study in Asian culture. She wants to learn more. And she had an opportunity to study overseas, and she went to China, Beijing, and she loved it over there. And she went back to Poland, and they said, "Hey, there's an opportunity. You can go to Taiwan to study." So she went, and I thought it's so interesting. She is the first guest that disliked Taiwan in the beginning, right? She said she went and she was just so disappointed because she thought Taiwan is gonna be like China, like Beijing, and then she realized it's so different. The food is different, people's different, even the characters are different. So she had this major cultural shock. She doesn't really like it there, but she stay and see if she can learn more. And she actually attend college in Taiwan, and there's stories to that. So I think this is going to be a really fun and exciting episode to learn about Maria's journey. She is now a mother of two with her husband. Her husband is Taiwanese, and she lives in Taiwan now. She lives in Taiwan for 8 years. So that whole 8 years journey, I love her story. It's very interesting, and it's not what I usually here because we interview other foreigners that lives in Taiwan before and they all love it, right? They love the food, they love the people, they love the island. So really cool to see different perspective, Maria's experience in Taiwan. And I think it's so fun. We also share about her love story. There's some love story between her and her ex-boyfriend, her experiences with Taiwanese men and how she met her husband, and just so fun. It's so fun. Trista's not here today. So it's just me and Maria chatting away. So let's welcome Maria. I think you guys are gonna love our conversation today. Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Yang. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thank you.
So I found you on Instagram, and your story is just so intriguing, so interesting. Can you tell us about yourself, your background, and how you ended up in Taiwan and start a family in Taiwan?
Yeah, totally unplanned. Okay, I was studying international relations back in Poland. And prior to this, I've been to America, actually, to Washington, D.C. And I've been there as an au pair. And there I was exposed to a family that consisted of a single mom, and she adopted a girl from China. Susan and Lian, if they get the chance to listen to this, I miss them so much.
How long you
Actually,
live with them? How long you
Well,
lived
I
with them?
lived with them for a couple of months, unfortunately, only because they were my second family after rematch. And then afterwards, I had to go back to Poland to start the studies. But thanks to them, they exposed me to the culture, the East culture. Priorly, I wanted to study American culture, maybe something related to the politics, definitely. But yeah, I was oriented towards West. And interestingly, I got to read the book, which is called Snowflower and the Little Fan. And so the host mother gave it to me to read. And after that, I just fell in love with the Eastern culture, with the 中华文化, right? Not only we can say Chinese culture, but Chinese culture, as we know, is quite broad. It's not only China, actually. So that's what I mean. And so after going back to Poland, I chose that I'm going to study international relations, but probably if there will be option with Chinese language or more focused on Asian countries. And during the bachelor, actually, we were not given such a choice. We were given a choice of maybe business or diplomacy. So I chose diplomacy. And diplomacy brought me to the internship in Beijing. I spent in Beijing probably about 3 months. Then I traveled across China with my whole family, not knowing Chinese. Basically, I knew only 谢谢, 多少钱, 你好, very simple things. And then thanks to them, I could survive there. Because majority of the places where we went, we were just like real aliens in their world, and they could not speak English at all. Afterwards, I went back to finish basically a bachelor's in Poland, and the professor said, if you start master's degree with us, probably with the Asian specialization, yeah, that was Asia Pacific and Chinese language, then we could send you during the first semester to Taiwan because you've already been to China, and since you're interested in the matters there, so we could just show you could experience Taiwan, how it looks like and what it really is. Because I kept asking, do you really think that Taiwan is the province, whatever you want to call it? Basically, I had so many different questions about that. I was really interested in, and they said you should see it yourself.
You didn't really know Taiwan back then.
Because of our studies, it's international relations. So I briefly knew that history. So I knew the facts, but I didn't know how it is here. What do people feel? What do people identify with? And yeah, what do they think and things like that. Actually, I still kept thinking that there must be more to it than the whole propaganda out there, right? But even in Western countries, just Europe, majority of those countries would consider Taiwan as just the province of China. It's not the part of World Health Organizations, and basically it's not the member of, I don't know about WTO, I guess probably not as well, but definitely not the, sorry, I'm thinking of Polish language now,
I think I know what you're trying to say. That like
the UN, sorry,
UN.
the UN, United Nations.
That's
Sorry,
right.
When I
blanked out too. Yes.
When I talk about the politics, I keep trying to translate from Chinese to Polish, and then I know all of the abbreviations from Polish, and then I'm thinking like, what was it in English? Sorry, I blacked out. Probably it's also a mama brain.
You have 3 languages going on in your brain.
It's really busy. It cost me a lot of energy, definitely. Yeah. So anyway, so that was a kind of like a long journey. It's like 绕一圈, right? And you're going around. And then finally, I stood up in Taiwan. And since that moment, I hated everything about Taiwan. Oh my God. It was completely different than I thought it would be. I expected it to be more Chinese. I expected to be the food to be garlicky, spicy, sour, and everything. And it's just sweet. I kept thinking, come on, it's not that far from China. Why the food is completely different? And
Okay,
then
so prior you went, you were thinking about, okay, it's gonna be because you've been in China, Beijing, so you're thinking about Taiwan to be like China, right? So you went completely total shock, the food, you're like, what is going on?
yes, and especially the language. I've learned Chinese characters that were simplified. Only a few at that time I knew, but anyways, they were simplified. And then when I landed here, I could not even read the characters for the meat types. So when you go to the restaurant, that is a like a that. It's basically you are disabled again.
You have to start over. So you already have
Exactly.
you already have a good Mandarin Chinese foundation when you went?
Not that good, but those simple things like I could say 我叫妙呀, right? And like how old am I? I could bargain because that's what I was taught in China. So in Chinese, like using the numbers, I was good. And also when I came here, another thing that I found out that actually Taiwanese people don't bargain. That was another
Really?
shock because I keep trying to bargain with them and they are like, come on, the price is written there. So I thought, oh, okay, this is completely different. And the prices
Wait, it
were higher
depends
than
where
in
you
China.
go, right? Depends where you go. If you go to night market, like if I go to night market and
Mm,
市场, 夜市, I bargain. But if it's like
yeah,
department store, then there's, I can't, there's no
yes.
way I can bargain.
No, but even if you go to Cai Sichang, maybe you can bargain for probably they will give you the discount of 10 or 20 if you're buying some vegetables, or they will give you some extras. But it's
Some
like
garlic for free. Give you some green onion for
yeah,
free.
yeah, exactly. But in China, it was completely different. It was wherever I went, and even in the regular shops that prices were written, they would still give me a different price, maybe 10 times higher, and I have to bargain. Yeah, for my white face,
Wow.
the white face tax.
Foreigner, because you're 外国人.
Yes, definitely. And they always assume that I come from America, that my pockets are full of US dollars. This is how I felt. Really uncomfortable, actually. Really uncomfortable because everywhere I went, I had to say, no, you're taking me for probably much richer than I am. With all of those dollars, I cannot afford to pay the price 20 times higher. So I always bargain. And then in Taiwan, it's just more it made me feel safer in a way that oh at least I go and I know I'm not gonna be tricked into buying something for price much higher or into buying something that yeah that's basically overvalued and maybe not worth the money. When I was already here during the first semester, because the semester here starts in August, but in Poland the semester starts in October, so there's 2 months span. So once we got to October, and the university in Poland that sent me here for the exchange, they started counting their numbers or organizing the new semester. They thought we're gonna cancel the Asian studies because there's only maybe 15 people or 20 people willing to study it. So they called me and they said, hey, next semester you're going to choose, we can offer you something equally interesting. So instead of studying Asian studies with Chinese, you can study Middle East with Arabic because we will basically cancel the major. And I'm like, what? And you think these two things are really just that similar? This is what the lady was imposing. It's there, right? It's in Asia, right? So it's similar. And I'm like, no, Middle East is Middle East. You know what I mean? Maybe some countries are in Asia, but it's not like come on, the languages, the characters. This is completely different world. And culturally, it's a different world. They thought I could study this instead. And I said, okay, don't worry about it. Just assign me to any of those courses because I didn't want the major my exchange program to be canceled. So I said, okay, whatever you do, you just do what you have to do. And I was supposed to go back to Poland after the semester is over, the winter semester, which is January or February, and keep studying there. But meanwhile, I just kept looking for similar studies, like Asian studies, so that I could study the politics of Asia in Taiwan. And I found it. I found the program, but it was all starting in the following September. I had to do some visa jump. I went to Philippines. That was nice. And then I was back to Taiwan. I started because I had one semester left before the new studies, right? I thought I wanted to stay here and maybe really understand the culture that at that point, I really disliked. I only knew what I wanted to study, and I thought, what's the best place to study it than just being here in Asia, right? Because even their library are full of resources. They have much more than we have in Europe. At that
I have
point,
a question.
yeah.
So in the beginning, you say you went to Taiwan. There's like culture shock. You didn't really like it. The food is not like China. So what is a pivot point that you like? I want to stay. I want to learn more.
I just knew I want to learn since the beginning. I wanted to learn about Asian cultures and Asian politics, Asia Pacific, this region, and I wanted to learn Chinese. At that point, I was sure about that, and that was my goal. So no matter I don't like this place, that's how I was feeling. I knew I'm gonna go through some sort of culture shock. So I was prepared for that. I've been to States before, and I've been to China before. So the length maybe was different of those culture shocks than in Taiwan. In Taiwan, it lasted longer, definitely. But I was prepared, like mentally, that it's gonna happen and how it's gonna go a little bit. Though, yeah, I guess I just thought I'm going to go through it, and once it passes, I will probably be enjoying the stay here more. Or maybe not, or maybe I'll just think Taiwan is not for me, and then I'll just go back. But I just knew I wanted to learn the culture and language.
That is so interesting because people that we interview usually like fell in love with Taiwan because we interview some foreigner and they're like, I'm gonna stay, but you're the opposite. You don't like it, and then you stay. We're gonna come back to your story later. But real quick, I'm just so curious. Fast forward, is there a pivot point? You're like, oh, I love Taiwan now. Something changed. Now you like it. Is that the food, the people? Or is there a point? Or now?
Probably, if I have to choose one, then definitely it was a process, but that would probably be meeting my husband.
Oh.
Yeah, because he exposed me more. The things I thought I knew, he would bring me to show me them again from a different perspective and with a local. Yeah, and I guess that's how it started changing.
Okay, so back to the story, you decided to stay to study the politics, international, and learn more about Taiwan. Is this when you meet your husband, or there's more to it?
Not yet. No, not yet. Yeah, so the exchange semester ended in January or February, and I decided to stay later till June. Then I knew I would have to go for the summertime to Poland to make the new visa and then come back in September to start new university. The semester I had basically off from school, I kept trying to do different things. I joined some YouTube videos of different YouTubers. Occasionally, some agent reached me to do some commercials or to take part in some gigs. And then I also took at that time, I also took 1.5 months of long classes of Chinese. That was every single day, 5 days a week for 3 hours. Yeah, for 1.5 months. And at that point, I started understanding the Chinese characters much more. And I found out actually that this is amazing. When I was learning Chinese before I went to China or in China, I thought they are not logical and it was so hard to memorize them. I just couldn't go through it. And then in Taiwan, it just came so easily that once I learned 20 characters, then I found them in all the other characters. It's all connected. Maybe the nu, that part, you can find it in the breast, right? In the word for breast. You can find it in the word for milk. You can find it in the word for mama. So,
How?
yeah, okay. So actually, this was something amazing. At that point, I already started like turning into, okay, I get what it is about, and it started being easier to understand people, what they are saying to me, because before that, it was like once they heard me saying 你好 or 谢谢, they were already, oh, your Chinese is so good, and then immediately started telling me some stories, and I'm like standing and all just nodding my head because I didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I did not understand anything. After the Chinese classes, it's just 1 month and a half maybe. So I could understand the grammar, the basic things. I could also express more. I could tell who I am, where do I come from, why I'm here, what am I going to do here, that I want to study. So since that moment, it's like I could understand people more, and I started connecting with the people, I think, because I started chatting with locals, or they would rather start with me, being curious about my skin or things like that. Wherever I went, I laughed at when they asked me, wow, your Chinese is so good. Where do you learn that? And I'm saying on the street. I learned it on the street. Of course, I'm making a lot of mistakes and my grammar is broken and I lack the vocabulary because, of course, I only had 1 month and a half classes that I could really focus on that. So it's not enough, definitely. But the vocabulary I learned from the daily life. Maybe the most I learned from TV shows when I need to prepare the answers to specific questions. And first, of course, I need to translate the questions. So I learned the vocabulary from that. And then speaking, I polish every single day with Taiwanese people. When I go to banks, when I go to post office to deal with my staff, when I get sick in the hospitals with those volunteers, there are countless volunteers in Taiwan and they are elderly and they always want to help you regardless of not understanding your language or maybe even especially because of that. So they try to help you so hard. And meanwhile, they keep talking even if they know that you don't understand. So that's how I practice. It's like a listening class every single day. And then speaking
Yes.
because I'm trying to say what I need.
Yeah, Taiwanese people 很热情, a lot of passion.
Yeah.
So they don't care you understand or not. They'll just keep talking, right?
Yes, exactly. So that's helpful, definitely helpful in learning Chinese. So after that, I went to Poland. I made a new visa and I came to study. And that was Genda first. But I was supposed to have a scholarship with them. But that's what they informed me, that if I didn't get the government scholarship, I would get the school scholarship. So anyways, please come. So I came in September, and then on the first day they gave me the bill. And at that point, since I could study for free in Poland, and then when I was given the bill to pay in Taiwan, it seemed okay, this is not worth it maybe. I felt like someone made me a fool because they promised that I'm gonna get it's more like 免费念书, right? The school would grant me the possibility to study there for free, but I needed to cover my own expenses. So this was what they informed me on the phone. And then when the semester started, I got the bill to pay for my classes. So that price was five times more than Taiwanese people's tuition for 1 semester. So for 1 semester, I had to pay from 60,000 to 100,000 Taiwanese dollars. And at that time, I thought, then it's really not worth it. I could study in much better schools or maybe in different country. Why do I need to pay here in Taiwan when I thought maybe the education is not that good in English? Yeah, but anyways, I decided to stay since I was already there and I found the apartment and everything. It's a lot of trouble for not speaking Chinese person yet at that time. When you find the apartment, you sign the contract and everything, you settle down, and then you need to change the place again. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna keep studying. I will see. Luckily, the first semester I could earn enough to just pay the bills and everything. So it was not easy. And then the second semester, I started looking for the scholarships. I think I finished the first year in Zhengda, and then because some of the professors were the same as in the other university, which is Wenhua Dashi. So someone at some point, I forgot even who that was. They said, "Hey, maybe you could transfer to Wenhua, and in Wenhua you don't need to pay." So I thought, well, then that was my second university in Taiwan. So I already felt like the education quality, no matter what's the prestige of the school, really the same. So I just chose the cheaper way and I transferred to Wenhua. And then without such a pressure for making a lot of money to pay all of those bills, I could finally get really into studying the Asian countries' politics and cross-strait relations, because in Wenhua they focus more even on cross-strait relations. That's what I was interested in particularly. Yeah, so this year actually I'm gonna be graduating.
Oh,
I
wow.
keep writing my thesis.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then so how do you meet your husband then?
Yeah, so I was already a student in 2017, let me think. Yeah, I think that was in Wenhua Dashi. During those times, so I came to Taiwan in 2015. And that was my exchange time. And then during 2016, I've been studying in Zhengda. And then in 2017, I was beginning to study in. Well, that's probably second part of 2016. I was beginning to study in Wenhua, but before that happened, I already had some relations with men here, and they were not really successful. I felt like they were at some point each and every one of this person was trying to use me because I was so they wanted to try how it is with a foreigner, but they were not really ready, or they just wanted to look good in front of others when they can show off with
Yeah, do you feel like you get a lot of attention? Because I know how,
yeah
in Taiwan, 外国人 doesn't
yeah
matter boy or girl, you get more attention, right?
yes.
You look different.
And it's not always good attention. It's nice when people say, "Oh, your eyes is beautiful. Your eyes are beautiful," but you can definitely feel some racism here as well. Some at some point also discrimination. No matter how welcoming they are towards foreigners, you can also feel discriminated at some point. And especially when you're single and you're a woman and you're alone here, there is definitely guys who are trying to
Take advantage of you.
yeah, exactly. After four relationships, I took each and every one seriously, but I know that they were trying to kind of each and every person I found out was not honest with me about
They're all
some
Taiwanese.
point.
All four of them
Yeah.
Taiwanese.
Yes.
Okay, so after four of them, are you disappointed, like with Taiwanese guys? Men?
Yeah. And so at that point, I felt okay. So Taiwan is probably really not, or definitely, originally, I was not interested in Taiwanese guys or any Asian guys. I don't know. I just didn't even think about it. Many people do when they listen to K-pop or something. Many girls who came on exchange with me, they were like, "Oh my God, this guy is so cute." And I was not. I was like, no, he's not manly enough for me. Like, I look for bigger guy, taller than me, not thinner than me. Definitely. I don't look for a boy, I look for a man. This is what I kept saying. But then I met those different guys and they showed me some of them were just my type. just Taiwanese, right? But my type, like bigger and maybe yeah, just bigger. And then still their behavior was they wanted to show me how foreign they are, how open they are, and how really they can connect with a foreigner. And so that's why I guess I was attracted. But once I got to meet them more, I found out that actually deep inside, it's like they are faking it. They are very conservative, very Taiwanese. In the
They try to win you. They try to win your heart.
Yeah, it really felt like that. And
It's
so
not authentic. They're not being real.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna give up on that. I don't really need a man here because at that time I was really heartbroken. That was after my last relationship, and I was so down because I found out he was not cheating on me, but actually he was cheating on his wife with me. I found out
You didn't know?
I didn't know. I didn't know. I had no clue since the beginning.
Oh my
I knew him
goodness.
for a
Your
longer
heart
time and I
must
never
break.
knew.
Your heart must break so bad.
Yeah. And at that point, he said, anyways, already. So how about I just give you apartment and the car and the money, and when I need you, I'll find you, but please don't look for me.
Oh,
And he was stating it like that way you could successfully finish your studies and you can have fun and you can have everything. You don't need to lack anything.
包养 sugar daddy.
Yeah. And this is what I want. I wanted someone else to be involved, not like, just on the call, one call away and then I gotta be there. Oh no. This was like a slap in the face, really. It felt like that, and it made me wake up. And at that point, I thought, okay, so all of the Taiwanese people must be dishonest. I met four of them, and they were all like that. I had no other, no other picture
You
of
have no
Taiwanese.
trust. Yeah.
I had no
You
trust.
have no trust anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, okay, I don't need them. I'm just here to study anyways. I'm gonna keep studying. But I was so heartbroken and I was missing home. And I've been hard working to manage to finish the year in Janda. So I kept saving that money to pay for Janda, which was expensive. And I had no money to go back to Poland for the summer. But I was so tired of the culture here. And I felt like everywhere I go, probably they just take advantage on me. And this is what made me feel really bad about Taiwan. And there was a Polish guy who was a model, and he said, I know a hairstylist who is going to Paris. He needs a model, but he doesn't want a model from Paris because he needs someone to try the outfit here in Taiwan. So he said, it's a job only for 2 days. It's only weekend job. So if you want to go, then I'll give him your contact. So he gave him my contact. I went to Kaohsiung. I tried the outfit. I tried the makeups, everything. And then it was basically super spontaneous. For the next week, I was even planning the job since Monday, but when I received that call was probably 1 week earlier, and they said, okay, so how about tomorrow you come to Kaohsiung and you try this, and then on Friday night you're gonna fly to Paris, and then on Sunday night you're gonna fly from Paris back to Taiwan. That was my plan for the week. So it was really hectic. It was really fast. Gave me hope that at least for 2 days I can eat the French bread. I can maybe drink some good wine.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so at that point I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I'm just going. Even if they don't pay me, I'm just going to have the round trip and just be outside of this culture because I cannot stand it anymore. This is how heartbroken I felt. Like I felt like the whole Taiwan was like against me. Yeah. So I went there to Paris, and I didn't know because my Chinese was still not that good, but I didn't know that it was like the whole tour of those hairstylists who are going to Paris for Expo. And during the Expo, there are many competitions. So I was taking part in some of the competitions for like wedding gown, for fantasy hairstyle. I was with the hairstylist all the time in the Expo hall. And at some point, on the first day, there was a guy who came. He looked like gay, wearing white blazer, and underneath was like pink t-shirt. He was carrying some bag from Givenchy or something. Like he really looked like in Polish, uh, in in the coming from Poland. This is exactly how we picture a gay guy. When I saw him, and also his voice was like, oh, so warm. I thought, okay, this guy is totally gay. But he was the only one who could speak English. And he said he's a tour leader of all of those Taiwanese people who came for the expo, for all of those 美发师.
Part of the group.
Yeah, so he's
part
gonna
of the group.
translate. If I need any translation, if I have problems communicating, he can help. Or if I need anything, I can let him know he can help, because he's there to just help the whole group. And now I'm the part of the group. I said, okay, thank you. And yeah, I thought he was nice, but still, the big impression that I have was like, he's so nice, because gay is always the best
gay.
friend of women, right?
Yeah.
So every time, genuinely, I didn't think of him as a man. I thought he's just a gay guy. And especially that there was another tour leader, his friend. They were like switching, and both of them seemed like so close. And as Taiwanese people, they are wenro, right? That they are so
Wenro.
warm to each other. When they are kind of like joking, I felt like, oh, okay, these two must be a couple. And then it's so funny. Someone said, no, they are not a couple. Like, one is gay and one is not a gay. But I didn't know who is not a gay and who, you know. And yeah, so I kept abusing him for, like, whenever I needed water or something, I would tell him, because I could not walk. I was wearing shoes that are like 30 or 40 centimeters tall. And I was wearing so many kilograms in all of those gowns and the costumes. It was super heavy. So my job was to just stay there and have the makeup done, have the hair done, be pretty, look pretty, and not tired, so that I can later on I can stand on the red carpet for all of the juries to judge. I asked him, okay, bring me water, bring me apple or banana or something, whatever he offered, then I would just get it from him. Yeah, and then we won the first place for the fantasy hairstyle. So they were so excited. The makeup artist was so excited that he and the sponsor of his work, they both rescheduled my flight ticket. They said, you're gonna stay with us for another week, and we are gonna take you for the tour in France. You can go with us and then go back with us to Taiwan. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But tomorrow I'm supposed to be at work. That was already Sunday, and I knew I have work on Monday, and they are like, just cancel it, because we already changed your flight ticket. So
what work were you doing back then?
Teaching English.
Okay, so you teach English when you're studying and have this modeling gig on the side.
Yeah, modeling or acting, those were jobs which they come and go. Each case is different, and since I was a student, sometimes I would take the job, sometimes I would not, depending on my availability. It's more like I did it as a hobby, as an amateur, or treating it as extra money, extra pocket money for the student. Yeah. And for English, I wanted to also get to know Taiwanese people. So this is why I started doing the one-on-one, some exchanges. Yeah. I treated it seriously, but since I didn't have any choice, and I had to apologize and say that I need to cancel the classes. Yeah. So I stayed in France for one more week. But actually, during that week, I found out that the guy I met on the first day, he introduced himself as Darren Lee, or Ali,
Ali.
the tour leader, right?
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't know he's gonna be my husband. I kept thinking he's so gay. So
You gave a Taiwanese man another chance, and you found the right one.
in the beginning, I was really skeptical. But during the whole week, I saw, wow, this guy is so teaching, right? He takes care of all of those elder teachers who are the part of the group. He's always asking everyone, what do they need? He's so caring. He's so warm, and he has the knowledge. He's so open-minded. When he was telling the stories about the places we were going, I could hear that he is really well educated. He knows all of the cultures because he kept making examples from other countries about different religions, the history, adding here and there from all the other countries, the knowledge from all the other countries. So it's not during the tour, I felt like it's like a world history class, and it was nice to listen to him, though of course I probably could understand maybe 50-60% of what he was saying at that time. Also, other people could not really talk to me very easily because of my Chinese skills at that time. He was besides the Mei Fa Shi, the hairstylist who brought me there, the tour leader was the only person I could talk to in English freely about anything and everything. Yeah, so this is how we started talking, because people were also saying, I don't know, these people on the bus were like, since the very beginning, they were pushing us towards each other. They were trying to, come on, you just fit together so well. And I kept saying, no, he's gay. And they're like, oh, is he? And then they were confused because they thought he was not. But when I told them he's gay, because I assumed, they were like, oh, is he? No, maybe. So then they were like, okay, then maybe don't push that much. But still, some were like, oh, come on, 他也是猴子眼出身. So they were like, yeah, you're meant to be together. And I'm like, oh, no way. He is born in the same year as me. Okay, I want the older guy. I want the mature guy. So definitely no. Another no.
What did he do that win your heart? Because you've been heartbroken by 4 Taiwanese men, and then you like the older man, and it must be something that is different from all of the men that you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna give him a chance.
I remember exactly the moment on the bus, the first day we started the tour, and everyone was tired, everyone went to sleep, and we finally arrived at the destination, and he's so softly saying, hey, wake up, it's time to go and sightsee, let's see the place. And he was not like, hey, wake up everyone, we're leaving the bus. So I'm like, wow, this guy is so different. His caring level, like he can even think of such a detail.
He's genuine, right? Like he's not faking it to be nice. He's truly that nice. He's genuine, authentic. Yeah. And you can tell a person if they're faking it to be nice, like fake smile, or they're really genuine.
You have that feeling. You have definitely that feeling if someone is faking something. So with all those poor guys, I had that feeling, but I thought, and also whenever I had some questions for them, they were like, oh, it's because you don't understand Chinese. They were always using it as an excuse.
They just brush you off.
Yeah, or they would say, oh, this is the culture difference, or you will not understand, or it's hard to explain, and things like that. So I thought, yeah, probably. And I kept feeling like I'm smaller and smaller. I really underestimated myself and my own intuition. So that was a mistake. And then with this guy, I kept protecting myself so much. I'm like, no, he must be a gay. No, he must be like he's too warm to be true. There must be another part to it, right? Another side to his personality. And then, after those couple of days, he would sometimes offer me tea, sometimes coffee, just be nice to me. And we felt this chemistry. And at that point, I really needed to know is it only me, or can you tell me you're really not gay? Because I just, and he was, or maybe you're like, he was just so warm. And in Poland, I don't know if it's in America, but if anyone is talking to you like this, then you'll always feel like there's something to that person. Probably they are bi, or Yeah, this was very stereotypical thinking. I know about that, and I apologize if anyone feels offended. This was just my feeling towards him. This is how I would think about him in the beginning. And then after that whole week, I knew he's not gay. I knew he's warm. I knew he's so caring. He can foresee so many needs of people even before they say them out loud. So he really touched my heart there. I thought he's genuinely good. Just his heart is good. He's not there to fake anything or and also to him, I was not anything special. I was not another trophy.
Oh, that's so
It felt
important.
like that as well. He could understand my culture. His English was really good, so there's no language barrier, I would say. We could argue that there is still some, since we are not using our母语 to communicate, but still, it's a much better communication with him than all the other guys. I think. Yeah.
What language do you guys speak at home now? What language do you guys speak?
English, but for some things, his English is slightly worse than mine. So sometimes he would make mistakes that make me angry, and then they make me angry because he says something that he's not willing to say. I will probably understand something in a different way than what he means. Yeah.
Misunderstanding.
So, yes, that happens often. So I had to remind him, can you say that in Chinese? Because maybe I can actually understand some of the feelings, like the deep feelings, when people say in their母语, they are much clearer. So since I can understand more Chinese now, more and more with every day, and thanks to him as well. So I encourage him, hey, you can sometimes, if you feel like you cannot express yourself well in English, and just say it in Chinese, maybe I will get it. And I do. I really do. I can sense much more when I hear Taiwanese people speaking Chinese. Now I get when someone is saying something to be polite, and when they are genuinely just, for example, 没问题 or 没关系, like when does it really matter and when it doesn't matter? I can tell the difference now.
You can tell the tone, maybe the way they say it.
Yeah.
So, what about the kids? How do you guys, what's the dynamic there?
Yeah, so keep switching. We decided to follow the OPAL,
one parent,
one language, because I really wanted them to speak Polish, to be able to understand me well, and to also be able to speak when we go back to Poland. I kept speaking Polish since day one when my first child was born, and then the same rule applied to the second one. And my husband was using his own language when talking to them, so they learned both languages at the same time. It seems to me like they both started saying Chinese words first.
Yeah, because they live in Taiwan. They live in Taiwan.
No, but with my daughter, actually, that was a COVID time, and we were stuck in Poland for 1 year. We could not go back to Taiwan. Yeah, at that time, she started walking. We went to Poland to celebrate her first birthday, and after that, we could not come back. So the second year is when the kids are starting to say more, blah blah blah. But she was still not speaking Polish. The first word was baba for both of them, actually. So I guess somehow the Chinese language is easier for them. Polish is really hard, and it's also really hard for pronunciation. We have the for example, how I say my name in Polish is Maria.
Okay, like Spanish, you twist the tongue. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a different music, I would say, music of the whole language. I didn't push them. I just kept doing my job, which was to basically speak to them Polish. And the first one, she was exposed to Polish probably more because when we were stuck there, she went to pre-kindergarten. So everyone gets speaking Polish to her. And the second one, my son, seems like he starts to speak Chinese as well, but he can definitely understand everything I say to him in Polish. Some words he's trying to say in Polish, but they are longer usually. We will see. I guess it's just so early to judge.
How old are they? How old are they?
4 and 1.5.
Oh, they're so young. Yeah. Too early to know.
So
but it's great.
older,
You're speaking your language.
yeah, with my older daughter, it's now that we spend time in Taiwan, I need to remind her to speak Polish to me. But whenever we go back to Poland, she switches immediately. So she is speaking to my husband in Polish. It's just like she is in that environment. And so if she's talking to me, she will immediately try to say the whole sentence in Polish to her father, but her father cannot understand, right? More and more, but he will remind her as well to say it in Chinese. Yeah.
So in the future, do you think you will teach them English, or that's not priority?
That's totally not our priority, but actually, it was like our secret language when we were setting up some rules in front of the kids. We needed to make sure we were on the same page. So we used to use English. But then there was one situation I asked my husband a question, and my daughter answered. She answered in Polish, and this was the right answer to the question. And I'm like, okay, so you can understand English? I was so surprised because I never taught her English. Never. I mean,
she's probably listening. She's listening to you and your husband talking.
So this is amazing, right? I was so surprised. So now we cannot use it anymore as a secret language because I know she can understand. And since she had some a little English in Polish kindergarten, just vocabulary, I know she's getting more and more. She's learning languages quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it's really important for us living in the US. We try to speak as much Mandarin Chinese to our kids as possible, because now my kids are in elementary school and they speak English all the time. But going back to Taiwan every summer really helps. Just immerse, it's like you going back to Poland, right? Immerse in that environment and kind of push them to speak that language.
Because they immediately have the need. Yeah, it's more like a survival, right, mechanism. Like you feel the urge, like otherwise you're not able to communicate. So I feel this is the most important thing probably when you're trying to teach your kid like the mother tongue of yours, that they get to spend some time, and not only with Polish people in Taiwan, because mind you,
you guys have a community of Polish.
Oh. Yeah, and we also have me and some girls regularly keep meeting basically for the need of our kids, because we thought, oh, if we meet together, if we get together, they can keep speaking Polish, right, to each other. But you know what happens? No, you know what happens? Those kids, they think we're in Taiwan. So, and since at school with the peers, they use Chinese, so they will just start speaking Chinese to each other. They all look like foreigners and keep speaking Chinese to each other. It's yeah. So I think when you're abroad and you get you go out of your skin to just make a group together, it's not necessarily going to work. I found out that actually when you go back, even though you're going back for the summer, it's good to find the kindergarten or school or any classes that the kid will be left alone without you, and they will need to find themselves and their role in that group, and they will need to survive in that group. So
they will have no choice to speak the language.
Yes,
they will speak.
Yes, basically that's what I mean. My daughter every single time when we went back to Poland, she would be going back to the same kindergarten. And luckily, so far, it's still the same group, because when we were stuck in there, they are still in the same kindergarten for these couple of years. So she made real friendships there. Otherwise, she would not have any friends there. But they keep exchanging the letters, the pictures, and everything till now. So I really push her to keep continuing those relationships so that they will last when we go to Poland every time. But giving them that opportunity to go to Polish kindergarten also teaches them about my culture, about the different rhythm, about the different feasts, whatever we are celebrating, because the Father's Day is a different time, Mother's Day is a different time, and grandparents, and there are also so many other things to celebrate. That they keep learning that from there, definitely. So even if we go back for 1 month or 2 months, we send them to at least for 4 hours, at least for half a day, to the Polish kindergarten. We just find a private one, because the public one you need to line, and they can never guarantee you a place. But it might be easier with the private ones. So that's why we decide to pay that price. But at least she really has the need to speak. And that way, I believe that you're cultivating the language in your brain, so it will just last. As long as there is a need to use it, then it doesn't need to extinguish in your head, right?
And then your family is probably still there. They can speak to their family, grandparents, and that's
so. This is the most important, to be able to communicate with them. Yeah.
So going back to like when you say community, like your Polish friend in Taiwan, even though the kids start speaking Mandarin, but I feel like the community is still so important though. Like for you being a foreigner by yourself in Taiwan, like having that community, emotional support, right? So you have a group of friends.
Yes, definitely. Because we all miss similar things. We all brag about the same things. We all complain about the same things, because it's the same culture that we are surrounded with. So people have the ways of thinking, the ways of doing things that maybe annoy only the foreigners who come from the same cultural background, right? Only maybe some things will be annoying only to us because we come from there. If someone comes from any other place, maybe the other things will be important or annoying to them. Yeah, I think it's important, and it's quite healthy too. You don't need to pretend and say, oh, I love Taiwan is number one and I love everything about Taiwan. I love Taiwan, but I can also see clearly what I like about it, what I dislike about it. Yeah, and that's it. That's just a fact, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I live here I live in Texas, Houston, and I have a group of Asian friends, and even closer, I have a group of Taiwanese friends, and same cultural background, and then we miss the same thing. We talk about, oh, we're going for Taiwan, we're gonna eat in Taiwan, we're gonna eat things only they understand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand is that emotional support, and we miss home. We talk about food, and then talk about difficulty living here in the States. So I think it's so important to find your tribe, find the group.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Just like you say that probably the other Americans, no matter how close they are to you, they could probably not totally understand some of the things. I'll give you the example. When I was pregnant, and here I kept thinking, oh, I really want to eat sour cucumbers. I really want to eat them, but not the pickles, because pickles are made with vinegar. But in Poland, we make them fermented. So they are really sour, not salty sour. They are sour. When I was pregnant, I was craving that so much. And whenever I would say to a foreigner or Taiwanese people, they're like, oh, is this something that you would eat when you're pregnant? Or is this, they just don't get it. And then when I meet a Polish girl and she is pregnant too, and she's like, you know what I want to eat? I want to eat cucumbers too. There are just those things that are connecting us together. And also the hardships when the kids are already born, or maybe before they are born, like how do you deliver in Taiwan? Like, how do you go through postpartum in Taiwan? It's so much different, right? So,
Right.
yeah. And I feel like people from my country who are here, the at least majority that are around me, they are much more open-minded.
Mhm.
Whenever I go back to Poland, I feel like I'm too Asian for Polish people and too foreign for Taiwanese people. I feel.
Oh, Maria. Oh my goodness. Trista and I, we talk about this. We feel the same. I feel I'm very Asian or Taiwanese in America in many, many ways, right? But then when I go back, I'm like, because I've been living here for 24 years.
Like
I go
brainwashed.
back. I love Taiwan. Yeah, I'm like, there's certain things. I'm like the slang. I'm like, I don't understand what they're talking or because things change. I'm like, okay, I feel I'm not Taiwanese enough, like in the between.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially that we
I feel
go
you.
through so many different experiences that we would have back in the original home, right? Just like in Poland.
Yes.
My my experiences would be much different, and I would not have half of those that I have in here, right? Every single day there is something new I can learn. I've been here for 8 years already, with the breaks occasionally, just like the one during COVID. But for example, last weekend we went to Hualien to work. We were shooting some commercial for Hualien. You know, Hualien has had earthquakes since the April 3rd. So many people are losing their businesses right now because tourists are afraid to go to Hualien. This is very sad outcome of the natural
Disaster.
disasters. And so we went there to shoot the commercial to encourage people to go there more. Actually, what's interesting, I learned during that weekend much more about Taiwan and its culture than I learned through 8 years of being here. Because we were
Wow.
exposed to Aboriginal tribes, we were exposed to their
Wow.
cuisine, their methods of hunting, the way they cook, what they use for medicines, what they use to get drunk, and also the ways of having fun there. I did sup for the first time. I don't know if you've had the chance to go on SUP on a lake or ocean. This is amazing. It's like a board that you can stand and paddle.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
so apart from entertainment in there, we also were deeply surrounded by their original, very original culture with the roots. I've seen so many new types of vegetables that I didn't even see in Taipei for so many years. So this is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I got to taste them. It's like I saw brand new Taiwan, and I keep thinking about it, how deep that experience was for me. Even if you're here and you think that you understand the culture, you
You're
still
always
don't.
learning
Yeah.
more.
Every single day, you
Yeah.
will have
And
those experiences that you cannot have in your hometown, in your home country.
and that's part of your job, right? I know you and your husband have a very successful YouTube channel, 丽家人. So is
It
that
is
what you guys focusing on?
successful. We have more than 80,000 subscribers, but
That's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably it's great. I guess I underestimate ourselves, but because it started as a fun. We wanted to record the
Mm-hmm.
memories when our first daughter was born, and then later we knew we cannot lead tours. We are tour leaders. We lead tours to Poland. During COVID, that stopped. And so we kept making videos just for ourselves as a good memory. And then some people started watching. So we were like, oh, okay, we can keep doing that and we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some of the, it's very fun. Like so you guys show clips of the video and then now you're going to Hualien. That's like promoting the city, right?
Not the city, but just the whole province there, what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a program for actually foreign travelers. So we were in those shooting those government spots or commercials. We were using
Oh.
English a lot because it
Uh-huh.
for foreigners to encourage them to come to Hualien and learn that culture on
Mm-hmm.
spot, learn those new things. And the government prepared some subsidies for booking hotels or for joining the activities. They really want to attract more tourists there. Yeah.
Okay, so Maria, you in the beginning from disliking Taiwan, now marry love of your life, a Taiwanese man, have two children, living in Taiwan, now like promoting Hualien, promoting Taiwan. It's like such a wonderful story.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I like to think about it that I did not go that far off from diplomacy. I like to think about it like I just diverse because I started in Polish embassy. I really wanted to be a diplomat for Poland. I wanted to promote Poland and bring everyone to Poland. And then when I met my husband, I thought, oh, okay, this is the right way. I want to do it. I want to bring more and more people and bring people on the tours to Poland, not just sit behind the desk and plan the events and promote what kind of pianists we will have in Taiwan or what kind of books we will promote. It's important. It's very important. But because it's a government job, so you have no control over it, even though it seems like you don't, because the budget is set up by other people. It's other people who will accept the project or not accept. It's other people who will make changes to it and not you. So I started thinking, okay, so it's important, it's very prestigious job to work for Polish office in Taipei or for embassy in Beijing, but does it really bring me so much happiness? Do I feel like I'm really fulfilling some bigger goal here? No, I don't. I thought, but when we brought people from Taiwan to Poland, and after we had few tours before COVID, after that, they were so surprised. Oh my God, I would never think that Poland is so beautiful. I kept thinking that Poland has only Auschwitz, the the concentration camp. This is the thought that Taiwanese people have about Poland, and they are not to blame. It's more about the travel agencies' propaganda, because when they arrange when they arrange tours to Poland, they include it on a schedule with other countries. Because maybe you will see 4 countries and one of them, or 5 countries, and one of them is Poland. Of course, you will just see one city or maybe one destination. So usually what they show is Warsaw or concentration camp or salt mine. But Poland has more than this. Warsaw is a post-war been rebuilt, but you can see the ghetto traces, and its history is just sad. And then when you bring people to concentration camp on top of it, it's also super sad. It's very sad. Some people don't even dare to walk in. And then the whole day right after, it's like they are mourning. Whenever I ask people about Poland here in Taiwan, they would say, oh yeah, I know you have the concentration camp, right? This is the only thing they could think of. And this is not how I want people to remember Poland. Because this is not even our own doings. This is the Nazis doing in Poland. But this is a history. It's important, but we should be showing Poland the way it is right now, with all of its treasures, with all of the beautiful Tatra mountains or any other mountains, actually, with the lakes, with the sea, the beautiful landscapes, the bisons, the vodka, the food, the canoeing experiences, everything. It's so rich because of the placement on the map, basically, the geographical placement, location. You can have so many different experiences within the 1 or 2 weeks of touring in Poland. And especially what was so surprising to Taiwanese people that, wow, Poland is so modern. They have in mind that we are this post-communist country, right? But they keep thinking that we are just like, even though they know we are after communist times already, and it's more than 30 years. They will still have that kind of impression. Maybe we're poor. Wherever you go, probably, I don't know, there's some control over you. We're not totally free. I want to reverse that kind of image. They were so surprised that wow, Poland has fish. Poland has meat. Poland has good pork and beef. So many different types of fish. Actually, the lake fish, the sea fish. People were surprised from Taiwan about our cuisine the most. So
So did
that's
you came up with this business idea yourself after before you have kids? It's a
yeah,
great
before
I
we have kids, yeah, we led the tours before we have kids because my husband, even though his job for 20 years was tour leading, right? So he went to many
Mhm.
different countries, almost 100, but he never went to Poland.
Wow.
I was the first one who brought him to Poland. See how important Poland was for Taiwan? So
Uh-huh.
he probably has been to France like 20, 30 times. And same for
Wow.
Germany, right next to us. But
Mhm.
he would never go to Poland. At that time, when I brought him for the first time to Poland, and he said, "Okay, then let's just go traveling." So we went traveling, and he's, "We should make a tour because people don't know about these places, and this is
Wow.
amazing, and
Yeah.
this is totally not any different or any worse than experiences in France or Italy. And you also have some great local brands of leather or eco leather products and suitcases, bags, whatever. We also have our own local brands that are quite gaudy, I would say. Yeah, you just need a local guide to guide you through it. Yeah.
I can tell like you have so much passion
Thank
from
you.
your hometown. You just want the world to see how beautiful it is. But I think maybe in Taiwan, a lot of people, it's like when they see a foreigner, because not a lot of people in Taiwan can travel outside of Asia because it's so far and the language and a lot of barrier. So I think for them to know, it's hard for them to know like what Europe is like, maybe from the movie. Some people never travel outside of, Taiwan. So I think they have that stereotype, right? What this countryside or everybody, 外国人, everybody is America.
Yeah.
Everybody is American, right?
Yeah, not many of
So,
them can tell that you're from Europe, actually. Not many.
right,
I
right.
met some, and it always surprised me when they are like, "Oh, you're probably somewhere from like Slovakia or somewhere," and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, I like this guy. Like
Wow.
this one already knows something. Like I'm not from America. That's good. That's pretty
Yeah,
close.
I think they assume when you have brown or like blonde hair, blue eyes, you are from America,
Yeah,
and you speak English,
yeah."
England.
Yeah. But the people whom we led to Poland are not only from Taiwan. They are Taiwanese, just like you, maybe mixed families. And this is amazing because we lead the tour in English, and also because there's two tour leaders. Two of us can take good care of people, right? Like whenever something happens, it's not the whole tour will be waiting for the problem to be solved and then they will keep going. No, I can be left somewhere to deal with the problem with those people who are interested in, and then my husband can keep leading the tour to the next destination, and I will just catch
Wow.
up, right? So that's one. But also another thing is that I'm very local there, so I can speak
Yes.
Polish. I can deal with everything, even if sometimes you can still meet people who don't speak English. So that's still easy. And also for the mixed families, we had some from UK join us, UK Taiwanese couples from Australia, Taiwanese people from Australia, Taiwanese people from America as well. And they all flew to Poland to join the local tour in there because
Wow.
maybe they think whatever they will not understand from Chinese, they will still understand from English. There's always a English guide. For example, if we go to any sightseeing place, at least there is an English guide always, because that's the minimum Poland can provide. Not usually not no chances for Chinese. Very little, very small quantity of the places will also give you what is it called?
Oh,
Or
the earset.
yeah,
It translates.
yeah,
Mhm.
the headset. Usually the headsets they give you have English. Some very little places offer in Chinese.
Mm.
That's why we're there, because we keep translating. You don't need to even have the ear. We'll give you your own or our own headset, so you will be listening to Ali translating everything, or me. So you can hear the guy saying whatever he wants to say in English. So you get the English version and you have the full understanding of everything, but you can also practice your Chinese. And also you can make sure that your husband or your wife, your friends, they can also understand. So I think it's a perfect match for people who are, I don't know if you married an American guy or you're just
Taiwanese.
Taiwanese.
My husband's half.
Oh, okay. But for some couples, just like we met, in Poland, who flew from America, they were, maybe the other person was from Vietnam or origins, right? They can speak English, but maybe they cannot speak Chinese. So you can keep listening to Chinese version. He can keep listening to English version, but you're traveling together. So it's perfect.
Yeah. Maria, you just sparked something in my heart, because that is something that I would love to do, like in the future, but in Taiwan. Because I love, even though I live here in the States over 24 years, I left Taiwan when I was 14, but I still feel really rooted. I have the same passion of you. Like, I love where I came from. My mom's still there, my grandma, my family's over there, and I love everything about. I love the food, I love the people. I just love Taiwan, and a lot of people don't know about Taiwan here in the United States. Sometimes, where you from? Taiwan? They'll be like, oh, Thailand. Yeah, I've been to Thailand. You know,
right.
like, no, it's not. You're gonna pay, or they're like, oh, it is part of China, or people just they don't know. It's such a little tiny island that many people don't know about. But to me, it's just such a beautiful island, and I would love for the world or more people to see how beautiful it is and how fun it is, because I'm really proud of where I came from, and especially and especially for the kids over here growing up in the United States. Like me and my partner Trista, we both are raising kids here in the United States, and we want our kids, people that we say ABC, right? American born Chinese, that we want them to love where they came from. We love to have, they have that deep sense of know their heritage and know the culture, and not to be embarrassed.
So if you're proud of it, they are going to be proud.
Yeah.
You know, I see my daughter, I think it was sometime in last year, she was actually in a bathtub, and she's saying, Mom, I am Taiwanese. And I'm super surprised she asked that question. And I said, no. Then I am Polish. And I said, no. Then what am I? And I said, you're Polish Taiwanese. You're both. Like, you're not, because I could see she's trying to say, am I like daddy or am I like you? Like, who should I identify with? And I said, you don't need to choose. You're both. You're Polish and you're Taiwanese. And this is amazing. This is beautiful. And you should always be proud about it. And you should always take what's best from both cultures, because this is what makes you who you are. You're growing in this mixed household. And in our household, no culture is the primarily culture. Like, we are 50-50. Both cultures, we respect both cultures. We celebrate both cultures' feasts and all of the. I think this is the most important, that you yourself are proud, so the kids will feel proud. So now she's probably saying in her school that, no, I'm not Taiwanese, I'm Polish Taiwanese.
That is so cute. Thank you so much for coming out. So lastly, I really want to ask you this question before you leave. Can you tell me 2 things you love about Taiwan and 2 things you dislike? Because I know in the beginning when you moved there, there's things that you don't like. So I want to see if it changed after 8 years.
Okay, so these things keep changing, but recently I find out. And most often I answer to that kind of question. What I love is people. But after this Hualien trip, it made me rethink and restate it again. So I think I love about Taiwan that no matter how long I stay here, I keep learning. It pushes me.
A lot of things to learn.
And also it pushes me to be yet even better at so many different things and not assume anything. and be so open-minded. So I think it brings the best version of me from myself,
Oh,
really,
nice.
by giving me so many different experiences. And the second thing, so that's what I don't like. What I don't like.
I
Where to
want to
start?
see if Taiwan has, because your husband may literally just help Taiwanese men redeem themselves. I want to see if Taiwan has redeemed themselves in your heart.
Yeah, so I wanted to say also my favorite thing about Taiwan is people, and the thing I don't like the most about Taiwan is also people. But I need to explain that. So what I don't like about the people is that they really try hard to be so polite that they will
Mhm.
to the point of being dishonest, and they will make themselves uncomfortable just for your own good. And I don't like that. I keep telling them and urging many friends keep offering us help, or especially when I'm alone with kids for those days. I don't want to be a troublemaker. I don't want you to cause, I don't want you to go out of your skin to do something for me, because I can do everything. I can survive. I'm fine. But Taiwanese people are so polite, so caring. They really want to do something good for you, that even though it causes troubles to themselves, they will still do it. Once you choose to do it, okay, then they are super polite about it, and they will say, "Oh, 没关系," or they will say, 不用客气,不用客气,应该的. It's supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to help. But once some people will even keep treating you like that over and over again. For example, they will not let you pay over and over again for lunch with them, because they feel like this is their honor. But to the point that it makes you feel uncomfortable. You need a way to give back. You cannot just be a giver. We all want to give back, whether it's just saying thank you, whether it's just giving a gift. But Taiwanese people, sometimes this is how I lost some maybe friendships, that those people were so polite to me at that time, and I was also trying to be polite. I appreciate everything they did for me, but at the end I find out, okay, so now it means that even though they said, but still they were like 越来越远, like they were farther and farther from you, because they thought maybe you don't deliver, but they don't let you deliver.
So they're not being honest.
They are not being honest. Yeah, I feel like
So
they are not
they
being
feel
honest.
I think
Because you should not be polite if you don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You can for the first
I think
time.
that's a Taiwanese culture.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's an Asian culture or more Taiwanese culture. They feel obligated, and they
yeah.
it's like
They
a
feel
mean, maybe like a
obligated.
face. They're 不好意思 say it.
Yeah.
They're 不好意思. They don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell the truth. They feel bad or something.
Yeah.
I know exactly, because I'm Taiwanese. Here in the U.S., people say as it is. Oh, I don't feel comfortable. It's okay to say no. I think in the U.S., no is no. If I don't feel comfortable, I'm gonna say, hey, I don't have time. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe next time. But in Taiwan, I think no, and they don't like to say no.
So they will
It's
still
like
do something
it's
for
rude.
you, but they will keep blaming you for that. Actually, they will not say it.
Inside,
They will not say it, but
Yeah.
after some time, you will see that maybe they don't want to meet up with you so often, and you don't know what it is about. But actually, you do, because you were trying to not lead to that point, but they would never let you.
So I think it will hard to maintain. Doesn't matter if it's a relationship or a friendship, because if we cannot be honest with each other, be authentic as a friend, it's hard, right? It's hard to continue that relationship. You do something for me, but you inside your heart, you really don't feel comfortable. You don't want to do it, but you can't say no. You feel bad to say no, or it's hard to tell me the truth, and it's hard to. I can see why the relationship can be hard to stay together.
Yeah, this is the biggest challenge. I think there is no relationship without honesty. You just need to be honest.
It's like you have to guess. Like you have to guess what you think.
Yeah, no guessing, no guessing. In our relationship, so far it's successful, and we've been through many challenges together successfully, because we kept reminding each other, hey, just you can be honest. You can talk. You can speak your mind. You can just share your feelings just as they are. You don't need to. In the beginning, my husband would say, "Can you just not express so much? Sometimes 你给我面子吧，你不要 like you don't need to be so honest." But after some time, he's actually, I feel in my previous relationship, that's what was missing. But the other person was exactly like that. She was saying maybe she's fine, and everything is fine until, and so he was saying everything is
wrong.
fine until bam, it just blows up because you can't just go forward like this.
Yep. I think it's definitely the Asian culture. We keep it inside, but one day it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like I'm taking up so much of your time. I love chatting with you.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
I feel like even though we live in different places, I feel because you're also not in your own like home country really, or maybe you feel like, but also too Asian for America, right? We can understand each other.
I know, because a lot of things you are saying, I totally get it, even though we're thousands of miles away, but we both are like away from our hometown. So a lot of things I can resonate deeply.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And I will also link your YouTube channel and your information in our show notes so people can find you.
Okay.
And watch your amazing YouTube video with your husband, Ali. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you'll get notification when we have a new episode. And make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. You can go to our show note to find the link. And if you love this episode, make sure you share with a friend and bring them to our community. And if you enjoy our podcast, please make sure you leave a review. Your review will mean so much to us. It will really help me and Trista keep going. All right, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.